Those pretty good coordination.
Same there.
The entry, just making your grand entry.
Swooping in. You can pass that.
I certainly can.
Thank you.
And I think he emailed the technical minute yesterday. Right?
A couple of days ago. But I have everything here, so. Not yet. Those are.
Good to see. Well, yeah, Jen has something to kind of circulate, distribute. So we'll give ourselves maybe a minute or two to get it over. Thank you for those ones who are joining online too.
Just James.
Yeah, I believe that the agenda and the minutes will email out, but just in case some of you didn't get them. For the technical committee. I believe we do have a quorum.
Yes.
And I'll call the meeting to order for the Transportation Technical Committee, December the 16th. And like I said, we do have a quorum. Just for the sake of the group, because we have someone here for the first time, and just for the sake of the group, I want to introduce Jim Rogel, who is a county board member, and also he is the newly appointed chairman of the county's transportation committee. And so I'm going to let him to start, and then if we, people don't mind, we'll just go around the room so for he to know who we are and also people on the screen. Then we'll, if that's okay, we'll take a little bit of time. And if I may mention, today, while this is the last technical committee of the year, also this is the last meeting for Bob Nelson, who's with IDOT. He's been like his dedication and commitment to our NPO, by participating in all the committee meetings and driving like hours round trip to come here along with his colleague, and so it is just we really appreciate all his time and commitment. And I'll let you to explain why you're leaving us in a minute, although you did mention it last time. And so I just want to express our appreciation, Bob, for what you have done really for this MPO. It's not just attending meetings, but providing input, and also to the extent that he would like go out to the Veterans Parkway just to observe and do survey out of his own hands, just to see what the condition, what scenarios, what problems they are to solve. And I don't know if that's part of his job or not, but I think he shows a personal interest for the betterment of our community. So maybe I'll let Jim introduce yourself, and then if Bob, you have a few words to say to the group, and then we'll go around the room.
Hi, my name is Jim Rogel. I'm chairman of the Transportation Committee from the McLean County Board. I've been on the committee for almost 2 years, chairing for almost 2 weeks now. We're off to a great start. I work for the Laborers Midwest Region Health and Safety Fund. We do health fairs and work zone safety awareness throughout 10 states throughout the Midwest region. So I'm familiar with a lot of the issues.
Right, yes. And he's been involved in the state government legislature level for many years as well. So he's public sector. Bob?
And thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. And all people in McLean County have been great to work with. So I hope I made a little bit of difference for you guys. So thank you.
Yeah. So we'll miss you.
Oh, yes.
So I am Avery Gore. I am the programming engineer in District 5. And so I've only worked in the unit with Bob for just a couple of years, 2.5 years now, but we've been in the same department, since I've been at District 5. and I appreciate you making the comments about him too. We know what a gem he is, and we know what a loss it is to the department for him to retire. He's impossible to replace, and we're aware of that. But it's nice to hear that you guys think so too. So I appreciate that. So officially, and I don't know, I'll talk to you later about how we're going to do the voting, like transfer the voting, and because I am here just kind of in the interim.
Right.
You know how long it takes typically IDOT to fill positions, so
Yes,
that interim could
is a whole
be
new
a very long
definition.
time. However, we are in the process of trying to do a temporary assignment to his position because it's so important to get someone to fill in the interim. So that person may be the representative instead of me. For me, it's not. For now, it's going to be me. I'll help them transition to that when it comes, but we don't want to bring them yet until that goes through officially. So I may be here a lot of meetings. I may only be here for a few. We'll just see how that
And
goes.
it's for, basically it's up to IDOT to say who's coming, you're coming. That's great.
So for right now,
That's all.
it's me.
Good to have you though.
So thank
Second
you. Thank you.
time. Dan?
I'm Dan McGee. I'm the federal aid coordinator for the district in local roads. I've been doing this job for 5 years in January, so it's been fun doing that. So I'll be here another 10 years. Hopefully.
We hope you will.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay.
I'm Greg Huss. I'm a community planner here with the McLean County Regional Planning Commission. I've been here for about a year, almost exactly a year coming up here. So nice to meet you. Nice to meet everybody. See everybody.
If I may, I'll go to since the positioning of the table and the setting. People on the screen, I see Jim, James, Kite, Katie, and also Bob.
Well, I'm James Kite. I'm the Federal Highway from the Highway Administration, and I oversee our realty program. But I'm also I also oversee the Decatur MPO, Springfield MPO, and I work with Ray and the partners there at McLean County as well. So nice to meet you, and Bob. It's been a pleasure working with you over the last few years, and I know I speak for JD as well as far as always having a great partner there in the district to work with. So gonna miss you, but congratulations on retirement.
Thank you. Bob?
Yeah, this is Bob Ennis. I'm a Metropolitan Planning Manager for IDOT Bureau of Planning.
All right. Thank you. Katie?
She doesn't hold mic.
Oh, sorry. Okay. And Katie is our office manager for MCRPC, and she runs a lot of behind the scenes stuff and making sure people online can see us and hear us. Jen?
I'm Jennifer Six. I'm the transportation planner for the Regional Planning Commission. If we're giving 10-year times, I've been here for over 21 years. So being aged in days, I have a lot of experience.
Jacob Smith, Transportation Planner for Connect Transit. I think I have 6 months tomorrow.
Ryan Otto, Town Normal, the Director of Public Works and Engineering.
Kevin Cothe, City of Bloomington, Director of Public Works, been with the city going on 35 years next summer.
I am Tanya Barreto. I work with McLean County Regional Planning Commission. I am an assistant planner, and I've been here for almost a year now.
And my name is John Burrell. I'm the Chair of the Regional Planning Commission and of the policy of the Transportation Policy Committee. And I'm not sure how many years I've been on the commission now, but I think it's about 7 or 8 at this point.
Great. I'm Anthony. I'm the intern here at the MCRPC with the Stevenson Center at ISU. I've been here approaching 4 months.
All right, we're good. Did you have it?
No.
No.
Jerry Stokes, County Engineer.
Okay, right. Yeah. No, we appreciate everybody's attendance and participation. Really a great group of people, from the federal to state to county to the local municipal to public transit. To really people working together really to meet the transportation needs for the area, and it's not just roads and bridges too. So with that said, item on the agenda, to item number 3, public comments. I don't see anyone or anybody public here. So going for the approval of minutes on the November 18th meeting. Yeah, we emailed the minutes as well as we passed the hard copies out just now. So any questions, comments? Anyone?
I apologize for the stapling issue, but maybe people got the
Yeah, so you want to take a quick look and then I'll entertain motion.
Dan McGee, motion.
Okay, Dan, and second, for approval?
Second.
Second, Ryan. Comments, questions from anyone? Whoever in favor, committee members, please say aye or vote here on the screen. If you qualify, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none. Approval, that's approved for the minutes. Items number 5 and 6, and I'll have chance to touch upon this little bit, and then if I don't want to add comments, please feel free to. If no objections, we can, for the motion, we can do both, unless there's any objections. Both items 5 and 6. Jen?
Yes, the hard to read little sheet here is what covers this for item 5, revisions to amendments 5 and 6, which were voted on last month. Basically, what we've done here is add in the information that had been missing from the previous version of the spreadsheet, so that we have termini and location for the projects. And that's basically what here. So 5 and 6. Actually, the location was in the previous version, but it's Main Street, and the real correction here is Breakfast Street rather than color, and Olive and Bloomington. So that's the extent of the Main Street project that IDOT is currently working on, and that we've had in our sites for quite some time. So the only thing that we did there was just add in those pieces of information and correct the northern terminal point. Any questions about that? We talked about this at some length last time.
Okay, questions, comments? So we are, I'll entertain motion.
So moved.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kim. I'll second.
Okay, and this will be for both items, correct?
Yeah.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, those who are in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, there's 2 items approved, and this will be referred to the policy committee that will start at 11 o'clock today. The next item on the agenda, item number 7, is regarding updated MPO intergovernmental agreements. And before I'll defer to Jen and then Jacob. This is a few years ago. There was an agreement, and I believe you have sent or emailed
I'll have to check.
agreement.
I've lost track of what.
Right? Have you gotten the email?
It was attached in the email.
Yeah, I believe so. And so a few years ago, there was agreement. It's like between the county, the airport, IDOT, transit, and a few other major stakeholders, if you will. The chairman of the Regional Planning Commission. With the agreement, I'll defer to Jen and Jacob because it's related more for the amendments that we'll be discussing or considering today's really germinated because the transit they had a review by FTA, and so but rather than just doing like a amendment just for one agency, I thought this may be the opportunity to see if there's other agencies, other partners involved with this agreement. Should there be other changes, so we can make all those at the same time? Because trying to get signatures for 6 or 7, like directors or secretary of transportation, and it's not easy. So we thought it would be more efficient if there were any other amendments that should be considered and incorporated, then let's do it all at the same time. So really, that's the background. So with that, Jen and then Jacob.
We have Jacob to thank for having come up with this latest draft for revision to this agreement. The last one was in 2018. And when we had the triennial review, I say we, I mean Connect Transit, over the summer, one of the things that came out was that FTA wanted this agreement to have some extra language in it. And Jacob has very kindly inserted the extra language into the draft so that we have a complete version as far as FTA is concerned. And as Ray said, the idea here is to let everyone take a look at that, see if they have a problem with anything, see if anything needs to be added, because this essentially is the binding document for the MPO participants, is why it has all those signatures. And as far as the Secretary of Transportation is concerned, I would let Bob figure that out in terms of getting a signature. But that's basically the idea. And we'll have, the idea is to have a discussion on this. You said that we need one in January, and then a vote, an action taken in February, get it back to them.
Jacob?
Yeah, so the additions we wanted to have made, like Ray had mentioned, were for our standard triennial review. It's something that we have to do with the FTA every 3 years. Believe it or not, the federal organization really doesn't like subtext or things not being explicitly stated. So we just went through, reviewed the MPO agreement as it is now. Basically, everything was in place. They just really wanted to see that specific language. So they had 5 kind of main points. I highlighted that in the cover letter for quick reference. But the main changes made were just specifying what documents would be shared between Connect and the MPO and vice versa through all organizations to the MPO. Annual budgets, financial documents, things like that are already public record. Just FDA really wants us to say we will share them as a group for some reason. And then also making sure that we, Connect, as a transportation agency, are following the highest public standards set for things like public involvement and document availability, the same as our partnering organizations, the city, the town, the county, IDOT, et cetera. So that's the sum of the changes. I can dig into anything else more, but I think all in all, I added, 22 words to the document, and that solved the problem. So if there's anything else that y'all have questions on, or if there are other changes that would help to bring it up to IDOT standard, city standard, town standard, county standard, I think this is the time to do it. And I'm happy to assist with those changes if needed.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we're not really anticipating any actions to be taken today, but really to kind of introduce you, the background to this, and if you don't mind, you can discuss internally with your organizations or departments if any changes need to be made, and we'll take it back up. I think January is our goal because transit, they have to get back with FTA. There's some deadlines they have to meet. So we probably put it back on the agenda for actions in terms of amendments, because we understand that it will also may take some time to get all the signatures after that. So if in the next 2-3 weeks, if you have any concerns, any comments, other amendments, other language that needs to be revised, updated, then let Jen know, and so we can incorporate all those in a draft document to be put on the agenda for the technical as well as the policy committee meetings in January. So anybody have questions?
Will this need to go through the various governing boards, city councils and things?
I was asking that too, Jen. I don't know how, like a few years ago, did we take it to all those organizations?
We didn't take it, but it went, and essentially it's up to the local jurisdictions to decide how they treat state markets. This is a fairly important agreement, at least as far as we're concerned. So talk to your city managers or whomever and see what their preference is. Obviously that would add some time, and we might be getting into February at that point, which is why we kind of had this.
What's the deadline, FTA?
Shifting. As always, I mean, it's
Okay.
FTA. If we need to, we can
Okay.
extend. Our goal is to get it done ASAP because this is kind of the last outlier on our triennial. This was one of the items that we felt the agreement as signed in 2018 met everything. They said we'd really like the specific language. So our triennial was already submitted and will be approved by, they are holding the green stamp above the paperwork, basically.
Yeah.
When that happens, sooner the better, more convenient for us.
Yeah. So I think my hope is put this on the agenda for January, for technical and policy, because it should, I don't think it should go to the, I don't know, maybe it's the other way around, to have the blessings or the policy before it goes to those governing bodies, the councils and county board. I don't know, should that be the other way
The
around?
problem is we can't ask people to sign something that they haven't had a chance to review if they intend to review it formally. So again, it's back to the jurisdictions to make that determination. I would ask.
That's a given.
Part of that process, at least for our purposes, is that if action is taken or a decision made within each jurisdiction, that somebody be at the meeting, assuming we're planning for action in January, at the policy meeting to vote on it with the authority to sign that document so we can get it back to Connect and hand it off to FTA.
Yeah.
We can work out the details over the next couple of weeks. Let me know what your schedules are, and we can figure out a way to do this as expeditiously as possible.
Yeah, it seems pretty minor clarification.
Very minor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's one
why
aspect.
we can't.
I mean, as it stands right now, it's a tiny change in the 2018 document. I'm not sure everybody needs to gather and sit over it. So you guys decide how that works and just let me know.
Just in case, like the city, town, or even IDA or whoever else, and we probably should make sure the airport authority, airport director, who's not present today, Jen, if you would contact him. If you would like go to talk to your people, if there's any concerns, let us know. We'll put it on the agenda for January so that if it doesn't have to be approved, but at least we'll put it on the agenda so there'll be discussion so that we know what the unified or integrated document draft would looks like. So that when you have to, if you your legal counsel or whoever decide it has to go to certain boards and councils or commission, then you can still do it. But at least we know, hey, this is something, after your initial conversation with your own organization internally, there's nothing else. Because otherwise we can wait for a long time. And I always believe if we can get it done the right way, but it's, as soon as possible, I really don't want to hold up, but I understand there's a lot of internal conversations and review that might take place. So if there's other than the FTA or the transit language that needs to be updated, there are other things, from like the counties, state, cities, and town. If you think, hey, that those language should also be updated, because it's been 5 years, or 4 or 5 years. So now's the chance. So it's not just looking at the language, the proposed revisions by Connect, but if you see other languages that should be amended, let's do it at the same time.
When will a proposed draft be available?
Well, I think we sent it out at some point, but I'll do it again today.
Okay.
And that's the one that Jacob has worked on for the purpose of completing that FTA language.
Yeah.
The idea here is we're giving you Christmas to look it over and see if there's anything you want to add, or if somebody, if the city manager or council or whomever want to look it over quickly. It's like 3 pages long. So it's not a, one of those IDOT 40-page things where you have to check all the.
So I'm looking at the draft. Is there one we can get that shows the revision?
Isn't that the one?
The revisions are in there, and it has the cover letter that shows them. Do you want the direct
Okay, so
language
the
that is, the revisions are in that copy.
It would speed review if we could just get a draft.
With
show
it
highlighted.
Yeah.
I will combine that into one document. I'll have that sent over to the entire group by the end of the day. I'll work with you to maybe get that sent out to everyone.
Thanks.
Any questions, other questions related to this item? Very good. So, given the holiday, that's why, like to ask you just next 2-3 weeks, if there's any questions, concerns, your email Jen and me, and then so we can coordinate, for how we want to approach for the discussion in January. All right, next on the agenda, item number 8 is approval of performance measures and targets. And I'll have Jen to add to what I'm going to say, but this is something that many of you know this because we've done this type of thing periodically, not annually. IDOT has some performance standards that they have to meet, for the federal standards, and then in turn, the MPOs also given the options to adopt IDOT standards or other standards as we see fit. And so I'll have Jen to talk about give the background a little bit, but this for today is just for discussion on information purposes. But we'll bring this up, or we intend to bring this back up for action, probably like January, if possible. Although the deadline for IDOT is not until like later, but if there's no questions, no comments or objections, we can process this and put this on our January agenda. So Jen, you want to, just for the benefit of people who are not familiar with this, and talk about the background and why we do it.
Sure. The state is required to set a series of targets and ways to reach those targets that have to do with various categories of transportation activity and work. And the MPOs are asked to either sign on to the state's goals and targets or to develop their own. I can tell you that Champaign develops their own because it's them. We have tended, in fact, we have always, since this began, just adopted the state's targets, performance measures, and so on, but with the statement that, we'll contribute to that to the extent that we can, but the level of just the differential between our population locally and the population of the state of Illinois means that the percentage targets are virtually impossible for us to achieve it because it means like 1.4 people or something like that. So we've tended to go ahead and adopt those, but with that proviso. And we have one new set of performance measures and targets that came out on the 15th of November. So we have, on that one, we have some time. I'm going to go back and make sure that we have acted appropriately on the earlier ones so that Bob could feel safe. And we'll take care of those if they come up.
Okay. Questions, comments, discussion? Okay. So we'll bring this back up for action. And then in the meantime, if you have questions, email us and we can respond. I'm going to...
Ray, I just want to add one thing. Yeah, the performance measures, safety targets that's something that should be approved annually. The other targets are on I think a 3-year schedule, something like that. But the safety ones are done annually.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Bob, for the clarification. Yeah, as you all know, outcome measurements, performance measures, that's one of those things that we do a lot of work, but are we successful? What kind of level of success we doing? Are we achieving the goals and objectives? That's one mechanism. One of the mechanisms to that we can rely on. Any other comments before we go to the next item? Next item, number 9, that which may arise. The only thing that I would ask, if I don't know if anybody else have anything before I mention mine. Like every year we have this federal transportation investment. We map it out and also like a report, if you will, based on data we receive from federal highways. And we for the period from July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. So we did put together MCRPC of this report. And we send it to federal highways just so they as required as requested. So we just want to make sure, some of you may have seen it, some may have not. We will, just in case some people haven't seen it, we send it, Jen will send it out just so everybody has it. But I think it's a nice way to learn. Okay, we talk about different projects, within the team, and to visualize and then to read the reports and charts just to see, okay, what kind of investments being in for this region. So Jen, you got anything to add?
Yeah, just quickly. This was completed on Halloween. So the other thing that was going on was the wind up and approval of prior Friday of the long range plan. So this, I'm sorry to say, Bob, may have gotten sort of lost in that shuffle in terms of getting it out to the group here. And we will fix that right away so you have something to refer to. And we'll see if we need to take any further action on it. If we do, we'll do it in January.
But for us, what we have done in the past, we just for informational to the committee members.
Right, we don't, because none of the data is ours, we receive information from Federal Highway, and we also receive information from FTA in terms of their support for Connect Transit. And, this sort of compiled into the investments that have been made in McLean County by the feds in the course of the previous fiscal year, our fiscal year. And because we don't generate any of this, we just sort of put it in a nice, pretty frame. We don't ask for approval on it because we didn't create it. So and I'm sure Bob will have things to say about that.
James, I know it looks like you want to comment.
Yeah, this one particular year was an off year as far as with transitions in our office and different things that kind of was Murphy's Law that just came into effect with this particular year. So I don't know if IDOT has an issue with it. We can discuss it too. I don't know. I haven't really talked about this with Bob, but with this particular year, I don't know if it would test it necessarily because it's more of a formality of an informational type of thing and just a submission of what was completed to the members possibly could work. But I know some of this was just on us trying to get things out because of the transition in our office with different new employees and different coordination with that. So, all the MPOs got affected by this year. So it's not just this MPO with this type of data that was needed. So I appreciate y'all putting that together, and I did get a copy of that. So, I'll kind of leave it to IDOT on how they kind of want to move forward with it, but I'm kind of good with it has been completed. Federal Highways has received it, and I'm kind of at the point where maybe just check it off, and this next year it should hit the right timing of when these things can be taken care of. So I don't know, Bob, Ennis, if you have something different.
Yeah, no, we understand the timing issue. So some of the other MPOs take action on it, improve it, make a resolution, and then it also needs to be put on your website, the list of projects.
Yeah, ordinarily this is.
We can put on the website. And then resolution, are you looking for actual approval from your standpoint? Or it was receive and file would be sufficient?
Or accepted.
I'll leave that up to James if he's fine with it. Again, some of the other MPOs I deal with, they make formal resolution of approving it yearly. So
James, are you okay? What we have done, or are looking for resolution, which definitely we can do. Just a matter of formality or whatever.
Well, I think just capturing it in this minutes, and obviously I think it works. If it can be moved to the policy, just saying that it has been completed, just so it's properly documented in the minutes, and then posted properly on. If Bob's okay with that, just properly posting it. If we can just maybe making it in the minutes of this particular technical and then passing it on, saying it has been completed in policy, which a lot of the same folks that are at this table will probably be in that. So I'm kind of okay with that, but I do agree with Bob that it needs to be some type of formality in some way, possibly, just so that it's not under the, and that it does get posted to the website. So if there's a way to just say that we talked about it here in this technical and then pass it on to policy, if that works for y'all, just so that you don't have to worry about passing the buck till next month.
Yep. Bob?
If that works for y'all, Bob, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, all right, sounds good. We'll post it on our website, and the minute of today's meeting will reflect, the conversation about that receiving file our submittal to Federal Highways early November. I think it was November the 1st that we submitted. Okay, very good. So that's all I have. I know our policy committee should have started like 7 minutes ago, but if anything else that you need to talk about for the technical? All right, so our next scheduled meeting will be next year, in January, January the 20th. I know this will be, I think, after the MLK day, that Friday after the MLK day. As usual, we'll send agenda package out before the meeting. So I'll take a motion for adjournment. So Kevin and Jerry, okay. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, meeting is adjourned. I'll give folks like a minute break, and then we can continue on the policy.